Welcome to the end of Veridia Prime. We spent years fighting the jungle, fighting the beasts, fighting the very air of this cursed planet. We thought we were colonizers battling a hostile ecosystem. We were wrong. We were just fleas on the back of a sleeping god. The green hell isn't a biosphere. It's a parasite layer. The entire continent we've been fighting over is the dorsal surface of a dormant, subterranean biotitan known as the Terran. It's a creature the size of a small moon, buried for millennia. The jungle is just the fungal infection, the mycomind, that has overgrown its massive, stony hide, keeping it in a chemically induced coma while it feeds. But our war woke it up. The seismic charges, the fires, the industrial sawing, it stirred the beast. Seismic activity across the planet isn't tectonic. It's the titan twitching in its sleep. If it fully awakens, it won't just shake off the jungle. It will crack the planet's crust like an eggshell and feed on the molten core. The Federation realized that you don't fight a creature like this with armies. You fight it with orbital mechanics. They activated one final option. Omega Protocol. They sent us the first strategic intervention squad. The God Slayers. We don't carry rifles to fight infantry. We carry target designators for orbital kinetic kill weaponry. Our mission is suicide by definition. High-altitude drop onto the creature's cranial ridge, navigate the waking, thrashing landscape of its body to the primary neural cluster, the brain tree, and plant a beacon deep inside its skull. Then we hold the line for 90 seconds while the orbiting destroyer Hammer of Dawn drops a tungsten rod the size of a skyscraper directly onto our position at Mach 20. I am Commander Jackson, and today I am going to kill a world to save a system. The drop was the most terrifying ride of my life. We didn't drop into a landing zone. We dropped onto a moving target the size of a continent. As we fell through the clouds, the scale of it hit me. The mountains below were the spines on its back. The rivers were veins of glowing, parasitic ichor. The entire landscape was slowly, rhythmically rising and falling. It was breathing. Boots on the ground in 10. Prepare for immediate hostile reaction. The parasite knows we're here. I yelled over the roar of the wind and the deep, subsonic thrum issuing from the beast below. We hit the surface, a spongy, moss-covered layer over something dense as iron. The moment we landed, the mycomind reacted. The ground around us erupted. It wasn't individual creatures attacking. The landscape itself turned hostile. Antibody swarms, massive, undulating waves of fungal matter and chitinous teeth, poured out of fissures in the titan's skin. Form the spearhead. Push to the ridge. Do not stop for anything. We moved out, a squad of 6 against an entire ecosystem. We were armed with heavy plasma repeaters and micronuke grenade launchers. We didn't aim, we just painted the oncoming wall of biology with fire. The plasma cut swathes through the fungal swarms, burning them into steaming sludge, but for every 1,000 we killed, the jungle birthed 10,000 more. The titan began to shift. It was a slow, agonizing movement that threw us off our feet. A hill ahead of us, actually a massive muscle group, began to contract, rising hundreds of feet into the air, changing the geography instantly. It's waking up. The tremors are getting worse, yelled Specialist Kale, firing his gravcharge launcher to clear a path through a dense thicket of bone-hard thorns. Keep moving. The brain tree is 2 clicks north, past that spinal cluster. I ordered, checking the tactical overlay on my HUD, which was flickering wildly from the immense bioelectric interference. The journey to the cranial ridge was a nightmare ascent up the side of a living mountain that was actively trying to shake us off. We used magnetic grapples to secure ourselves to the titan's hide as it shuddered. We fought off flying horrors that dove from the clouds, parasitic gargoyles sent by the hive mind to intercept us. We were burning ammo at an unsustainable rate. We reached the cranial ridge. It was a vast plateau of bone and hardened fungal growth located directly above the titan's central nervous system. In the center stood the target, the brain tree. It was magnificent and repulsive. A pulsating neural not the size of a city block, glowing with sickening violet light, its roots plunged deep into the titan's skull. This was the control center of the parasite, the mechanism keeping the beast asleep. As we approached, the mycomind manifested its final defense. The ground around the brain tree liquefied, and from it rose the Avatar. 100-foot-tall humanoid construct made of woven muscle, bone, and glowing fungal spores. It roared a psychic scream that hit us like a physical blow, causing our noses to bleed inside our helmets. Engage the Avatar. Buy me time to plant the beacon. I screamed, sprinting toward the base of the brain tree. My squad unleashed everything they had left. Micronukes slammed into the Avatar's torso, blowing massive chunks of its body away, but it regenerated instantly, the fungal matter knitting back together. It swung a massive arm, catching Kale and two others, knocking them over the edge of the ridge and into the abyss below. I didn't look back. The mission is the only reality. I reached the base of the braintree. The psychic pressure was immense. Visions of pain and ancient hunger flooded my mind. I fought through it, slamming the heavy orbital beacon into the softest part of the neural trunk. I activated the thermal drill. The beacon shrieked as it bored into the living tissue. The braintree convulsed. The titan beneath my feet let out a roar that cracked the sky. The air pressure dropped instantly, causing my ears to pop painfully. Beacon active. Hammer of Dawn, do you read? We have lock. I yelled into the comms, desperate for a signal through the chaos. Static. Then a cool, detached voice from orbit. Solid copy, Godslayer actual. Target locked. Kinetic rods deployed. Impact in 90 seconds. Danger close is absolute. It has been an honor, Commander. 90 seconds. An eternity. The Avatar, sensing its imminent death, ignored the remaining squad members and turned toward me and the beacon. It charged, a mountain of angry biology closing the distance in massive strides. Hold the line. For Kale. For Terra. I roared, drawing my sidearm and firing uselessly at the oncoming giant. My two remaining squad mates, Sarah and Dax, moved in front of the beacon, forming a final human shield. They poured fire into the Avatar's legs, trying to slow it down. The Titan was thrashing violently now, the entire horizon tilting as it tried to stand up. The G-forces were immense. 30 seconds. The Avatar reached us. It swatted Dax aside like a fly. Sarah detonated her entire remaining grenade supply at point-blank range, vaporizing herself and blowing the Avatar's legs out from under it. It crawled toward the beacon, its massive hand reaching out to crush the delicate electronics. 10 seconds. I stood over the beacon, watching the sky. The clouds above were beginning to burn away, pushed aside by the atmospheric entry of something incomprehensibly fast and heavy. The sky turned bright orange. 5 seconds. The roar of the incoming ordnance was louder than the Titan, louder than the parasite screaming in my mind. It was the sound of judgment. I looked at the crawling Avatar, then up at the burning sky. Checkmate, I whispered. The impact was not a sound. It was the end of sound. The first tungsten rod struck the braintree dead center. There was a flash of light brighter than a supernova, followed instantly by a shockwave that vaporized the Avatar, the beacon, me, and the top layer of the cranial ridge. From orbit, it looked like a new star had been born on the surface of Veridia Prime. The kinetic energy released was equivalent to a massive thermonuclear detonation, but focused entirely downward. The rod punched through the braintree, through 500 meters of Titan skull, and deep into its primary brainstem. The Titan's death spasm was apocalyptic. Its massive body convulsed once, cracking the tectonic plates of the entire continent. Mountains fell. Seas boiled. The fungal jungle that had covered it for millennia was instantly incinerated in a global firestorm of our making. The UR-Terran died before it could fully wake, its threat ended by the brutal application of physics delivered from high orbit. The Hammer of Dawn remained on station for 3 days, confirming total neutralization. The green hell was gone. Veridia Prime was now a lifeless rock of scorched earth and cracked magma, a monument to the lengths humanity will go to ensure its survival. There were no survivors from the surface. No rescue mission was launched. We were the Godslayers. We didn't go there to come back. We went there to make sure nothing else did either. The war is over. The parasite is burned out. The Titan sleeps forever. Humanity prevails not by conquering the green hell, but by completely, utterly annihilating it. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. The ultimate enemy requires the ultimate solution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Saga 17. If you enjoyed this final, cataclysmic conclusion, smash that like button one last time for the fallen. Comment below, was the sacrifice worth the victory? Saga 17 is complete. The universe is vast and there are other hells waiting. The target is destroyed. The signal is dead. The saga ends.